You do that. And then we'll make Nichole the host, and she can keep track of anybody that comes in late. And off we go. I'll mute myself and she can take over.
Hey guys, Ross, I just sent you a message, a chat. Did you get that? Okay, cool. Happy Sunday, guys. Let me get my share screen situation open. Share screen. Why isn't it giving me? Oops. Here we go. All right, so we are going to get back into where we left off last month with our Q&A presentation. There we go. So we started last month with questions. Y'all were given a questionnaire, or you guys sent in questions, and we went through all of them, and it was only 2 slides, but it took up all of our time. So we figured we would do this month, go back into the rest of the question that you guys got the month prior that had to do with, you guys could answer a scale of 1 to I think 5. How do we feel that nutrition presentations have been beneficial to you? What have you learned? What have you have not learned? If you need more help with things, what are those things? So the first 2 slides are going to be answering some questions. There's just 2 questions I wanted to kind of highlight. And then this third slide is going to be similar to last month, where there's a bunch of questions that you guys had sent in as far as things that you felt were beneficial, or maybe we were missing the mark on, that maybe we can go into a little bit more detail. You guys can ask me what more you need out of these specific topics, and we can kind of have that back and forth again. Sound good? So if you do have questions, obviously jump into the chat. I'll leave some space in between questions if you do want to unmute yourself and, speak up, which is encouraged as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the question you guys were asked in the questionnaire is, did you feel a notable change in your training or performance after making a nutrition adjustment? Only one swimmer, only one of y'all out of however many of you there are answered 1, meaning no. So that tells me that that's great news, that only one of y'all felt like there was no change. You didn't feel any notable change or after making any kind of adjustment. Or that tells me that maybe this person made 0 adjustments, but that means that the majority of you answered somewhere between 2 to 5 that you did notice a change in your training. You noticed a change in your performance, how your body was responding to making some of these nutritional adjustments that we've kind of talked through. So if that one swimmer, or if you were that person that answered no, or if you do feel like you didn't feel any changes in your training or performance, can you tell me why? Or if you did implement some of these tips and advice you did make some changes and you did feel the benefits, or maybe it wasn't a benefit, but you felt some kind of change in your performance in your training. What did you change? What did you implement? How did that affect y'all this year, so that we can share with the rest of the team, or with the swimmer who maybe didn't feel anything or maybe didn't make any changes, to hopefully help them make some changes. So can anybody speak up or write me a chat that I can read out loud? So what you changed, or what did you feel differently in your training, in your performance, since you did make a change? This isn't really an option. I'm going to need somebody to speak up. Is Christian on? Christian, are you there? Do you want to speak up and tell me why we didn't feel any changes in our performance? Did you make any changes? Does anybody, because here's the other thing, guys, if you guys don't speak up, I'm just going to start calling names, which I have been advised by coach that it is totally fine for me to do. I can only help y'all if you tell me how I can help y'all. Because at this point, I feel like we've talked about all of the things that can be helpful to you. And I can beat you over the head with the things that we need to change, but I can't know that we're making the changes if you don't tell me that, yes, I've done this and this has been really successful and thanks, and this was great. Or no, I'm still feeling really fatigued, or no, I don't feel like I'm getting enough food in. So we can try to maybe workshop some of these things to help you, so that for this season, we can just get better, just get stronger. Kristen, you got anything for me? Check the waiting room. Let's see. Hold on. How do I get back? Come on, guys. I have nobody waiting to come in.
Okay, I'll go.
Thank you. Who's this, Riley?
Yeah.
Thanks, Riley. Jump in there.
I feel like that with that, like not eating like burgers and fried food at swim meets, and like just eating like honestly like a little bit less than I like my mom was pushing me to eat. I've done better, and like not eating like Alfredo sauce and like heavy foods.
Yeah.
I've just done better at meets.
You feel like you have a little bit more energy. You feel like a less like heaviness in your stomach, a little less like fatigue.
Yeah, like when if I like eat lunch and then take a nap and then go for finals, I'm not like as tired as I would have been if I had like
A burger or fries or something like that. Okay, great. This is perfect. I appreciate you speaking up. So this was something I think we talked about in the last month when we talked about, what's the real benefit of not having fast food, I think was a question. And I think I actually recently, one of my Tuesday tips was, why are we avoiding fast food? What's the big deal? Like, you told me to eat chicken, so why can't I have like a fried chicken sandwich? So this goes back to those fats that we talked about, those trans fats, those saturated fats. Chicken is great, but when you fry it and deep fry it in all those oils and those saturated fats, those are the things that sit really heavy with us. Just like you said, that same Alfredo sauce, when we drop, like, pasta is great. I love pasta. I have pasta a couple times a week. Getting the right pasta versus just plain pasta. I'm not even really terribly worried about you guys having regular pasta, but when you cover it in a dairy cream sauce, that just sits really heavy in your stomach. It makes us feel really, really sleepy and lethargic. And so if you can eliminate some of those things, calorie to calorie, I'm not worried about you guys as far as cutting your calories or being really restrictive in your calories, but making sure we're getting the bang for your buck, getting those good ones to just make us feel better. And right now, like at your age, it may seem like I'm trying to take away all the good foods and the things that you really like. And it's really not. It's just finding the right timing of them. So maybe right before practice or right before a meet is not the time for the huge greasy burger and fries or the pasta Alfredo. So I'm really excited that Riley felt that change. So if you guys are still having some of those things before meets, pre-practice, maybe that's something you can start eliminating or trying to find like the better option, save it for afterwards. Okay, Allie said that she started to use protein powder after every other practice. It did help her and she felt better at practice. I also started to plan some of my meals out. These meals were mostly breakfast and dinner. I'm having problems controlling my lunch, but I'm doing better than last season, and that counts. That totally counts. So that is the perfect plan. I love that breakfast. We've talked about breakfast before. We want breakfast to be a priority for y'all because I know your school day is real backed up. And a lot of times I know some of your schools don't allow the breaks that we need in order to get some good snacks in during the day. Some of your schools I know are really great about it. Some of your schools, I think I've been told by a few of you, are a little bit stricter as far as you can't eat snacks during class, or, it's all timed out specifically. So if you can really jumpstart your day by getting those calories in first thing and giving your body that energy that it needs. Our calories are energy. It's gas in the tank. So you can't go to school on empty. You know what I mean? You can't stay just like I tell you all about your hydration, we can't play catch up. You can't play catch up with your hunger. And if you go into practice underfueled, meaning underfed, under your calorie goals, then you're going to go into practice a little bit weaker. Even if you aren't feeling those hunger pains, your tummy's not feeling hungry, you can't go into practice feeling empty. You're just going to get real sleepy, real fatigued. You're more likely to hurt yourself. You're more prone to injury. So that's awesome that she was able to really dial into breakfast, and really dial into getting that protein in during the day. So that's super exciting. We can bring to the next slide. Next question, one of the other questions that y'all got was, do you feel that our monthly nutrition meetings with Coach Nichole were beneficial to your understanding of your nutritional goals through macros? 2 of you guys answered a 2, which is low. It's 1 to 5. Be honest. I want y'all to, if I'm not giving you enough information to give you a better understanding of what we've been going through, what these things mean, the words that keep coming out of my mouth, because I can keep saying the word macro over and over and over again, but if you don't know what that is, then it's really hard to understand it, right? I can say it until I'm blue in the face, but if you don't actually have an understanding of what macros are and how we should be balancing our day with them, it doesn't really make any sense, right? So 2 of y'all I know answered 2 as far as these meetings maybe not being super beneficial for y'all. So I want to ask y'all 2 things. 1, do we need to go over what the macros are a little bit better so you can understand what those 3 things are? And 2, I want you to speak up right now. If I'm missing the mark on something that you still are questioning, still don't have an understanding of, still want me to, explain better in more depth, please let me know right here. I am here to help you and have a better understanding of your nutrition for you to be more successful with your training. Okay, so Lee, yes, I feel as though I have a better understanding of the macros and how to use them to better understand my nutrition. That's amazing. Thank you, Lee. I'm really, really excited about that. How does everyone else feel? I will give a quick crash course on them again if you're afraid to speak up, but basically your macros are 3 things. It is your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fat. Those 3 things make up your calories. So when you look at something and it says that it's 300 calories, if you're looking at like the back of a granola bar and it's a 300 calorie bar, those 300 calories are coming from some combination of protein, fats, and carbs. How many grams are in each? Now our body, there's all these myths out there about we should be cutting carbs, you should be limiting fat, you should be doing all these things. Your body is intended to use these 3 things very specifically. And if you're missing the mark on one of them, your body has to play catch up and use them for something else. So if we can give your body the right balance of those 3 things, and then especially with y'all being athletes, the nutritional timing of your protein and your carbs, and give your body those things when it needs it, the right portions of how to need it, evenly distributing those calories through your day, then your body can function the way it's intended. You can optimize your workouts, you can feel better, your energy levels increase, and we just feel better across the board. So the kind of rule of thumb that I want you guys to focus on with these 3 macros, your protein it kind of sources everything within our body, our skin, our hair, our nails, our growth, everything. It helps the body grow and develop. With athletes specifically, when we're working out and we're exercising, the protein is super, super important to your muscle development, recovery, and repair and growth. Okay. So that's why I push it after our workout. We want to have that extra protein post workout, just because you've just exerted your muscles. The best thing you can give your body for those fatiguing muscles is the protein. Okay. Your carbohydrates is like the gas in your tank. It is your number 1 energy source. It converts to sugar, converts to energy the quickest, and it gives you that boost of energy. So that's why we talk about having those carbohydrates pre-workout. And now when we look at our carbohydrates with the energy in the tank and they convert to energy, 2 different kinds are your complex and your simple. Your complex is like putting a log on the fire. It's slow burning. It's going to keep that gas and that engine running a little bit longer. Your simple carbs turn into sugar really quickly. They're going to be the ones that you find in like baked goods and cookies and treats and cakes, but you'll also find those in your white breads, in your white pastas, and your white rices, and your white potatoes. Those just transition into sugar a little bit quicker. They're not terrible, but they do get used up very quickly. So that's why I like to focus on those complex carbs, just because it's going to give you that long lasting energy. And that's what you need to be able to sustain longer workouts. Fat carries most calories. So it's easy to overeat in your fat. That's why we try to really control those fats and control where those fats are coming from. Like we discussed that slide about the trans fats and the saturated fats, making sure we're limiting on those and getting your good healthy fats, what those healthy fats look like. Those are the things that are also, it's a secondary energy source, but it also keeps us feeling satisfied. And it gives us a little bit extra additional energy. Does all this make sense? It helps with hormonal function for females, but so any other questions going on about what the macros are and if anybody needs any of that further explained? Because I want y'all to know, if you didn't know this already, or if we maybe forgot, that's the kind of nutrition coach I am. I'm focused primarily on the macros and making sure people evenly distribute them and eat them all, rather than restricting some calories and restricting our macros. And it's in my opinion, the most balanced way to eat and focus on your nutrition, especially for athletes. Questions about our macros? Okay, next slide. Do we feel that our monthly nutrition meetings were beneficial to your understanding of how nutrition aids your training and your recovery? It's a little bit different than the last slide. That was your overall understanding of nutrition and what I'm here to promote and here to give all the information on. But in regards to y'all's specific training and recovery, most swimmers agree that it was, which is fantastic. So I want y'all now to share, if you can, examples of what specifically helped you recently in some of our meetings and the things that we've talked about. What specifically helped you in your training and recovery? I know Lee said she's got a better understanding. And then Allie said that she started adding that protein in, which was awesome. And Riley said that she started limiting all those heavy calories for her training, and that's been beneficial. Does anybody else have anything that's been really helpful with recovery maybe? Have we started limiting maybe some sugars and we're sleeping better? Are we eating breakfast? Have we tried anything that we've been talking about? If you share something, maybe someone on maybe a teammate has not done anything and they're waiting for one of y'all to share. Ricky said they're resting more. Bless, that's great. Resting is super important because you're just gonna feel better. If you're resting more, maybe you're eating less sugar, so you're less restless during the day or at night. Those sugars really affect. What about the caffeine? I know y'all want to have that caffeine. Ricky's the only one that can share specifically what's helped them in their training and recovery. I know a lot of y'all have started implementing protein to your day, which is great, whether it's a shake or a smoothie or something, so that's great. Lee also said she's feeling better, or they're feeling better on the drive to morning practice right after waking up. Does that mean that you've started adding breakfast in, Lee? Or you just feel like maybe you got a better sleep? Okay, great. So you're adding in a better breakfast. Awesome. That's great. I know it's early. We talked about this before about how, especially some of those really early morning practices, sometimes our body isn't totally awake yet. So it's kind of hard to force feed ourselves some of those calories, but I promise if you can force something down, it's gonna be easy for you to get down. It doesn't feel like a lot. It's just gonna make you feel so much better once you jump in the pool. Allie, was that you who said, let me see. Allie said they cut out caffeine and I feel a lot better at practice. Yes, Do you feel like you cut out some of those shakes or some of those jitters that maybe caffeine was causing? Because I know y'all want to have the coffee or want to have the pre-workout, but I'm telling you right now, it is totally unnecessary. Y'all have so much natural energy at your age. It's just gonna give you these jitters and shakes. You're gonna have a huge crash once the caffeine wears off, and it really does affect your development and your growth at this age. It's just unnecessary. Okay. Enzo said, I've tried some Kodiak protein muffins after practice and they work well for recovery. That's awesome. Those protein muffins that I shared that recipe on y'all's website, it's a baked good. It tastes like you're having a muffin, but it's loaded with protein. And so if you're starving after the pool, it's a great filler and it has all this extra protein. So that's great. If y'all haven't made them, they're so easy to make. They take 15 minutes in the oven. They take 2 seconds to put together. You guys can do this on your own. You don't need help in the kitchen for these. They're so simple and they're great to have on hand. Riley said eating right after practice and then eating, I lost you, hold on. She said eating right after practice and then eating dinner when I get home has helped me recover. Yes. So we've talked about this post-workout snack/meal. Some of you don't go straight to dinner right after practice. You may have an hour-long drive, or even if you just have like a 20-minute drive, if dinner's not ready right away, getting that protein in right after, or getting that snack in right after practice, just to sustain you and to give your body that protein right after is going to be a game changer. It's going to be super helpful. Plus, a lot of times when we get out of practice, I bet you're starving. And not that we need to be limiting calories, but if you go into your dinner or that next meal ravenous, then you may overconsume, may upset your stomach. You may feel super heavy and tired after dinner, and you may not be going to bed right after. So if you can take that snack in right after practice to help fuel that workout and recover that workout, then have dinner at a normal size, it's going to be perfect. All right, great job. Let's see. Jack said, getting in protein after a workout helps me feel less sore the next day. 100% recovery. Sorry, my puppy just came in to join us. Yeah, that protein is going to be muscle repair, game changer. It's like protein is like the missing piece. It's the bonus piece that I tell a lot of my clients that it's just, we tend to undereat it. We tend to miss it. And especially as athletes, you'll need it. It is paramount to y'all. Izzy, I've noticed better recovery. Thank you. That's awesome. Super pumped about that. So yeah, what I just took away from that is what y'all are finding and what y'all are learning is more protein, less caffeine, right? Awesome. Love it. Okay, next slide. All right, so this is going to be the bulk of it. You guys asked for or you guys had some questions or had some topics that you wanted to discuss further. So these are going to be great and helpful for future slides, but I figured we'd touch on a few of them right now and just kind of buzz through a few of them that we can discuss. Y'all can ask questions. I'll kind of start it as far as how and what we can do to answer these questions. And then if you have other questions that you want to jump in or add on to, please let me know. So please list future topics that you would like for Coach Nichole to cover in upcoming meetings. Hold on one second. Like I said, my puppy came in and opened my door. Let me close this. Okay. How to get protein throughout the day, not just before practice. Eat all your meals. That's the number one. Like we just said, if you're not eating breakfast, start eating breakfast. Number two, balance that lunch. I don't mind pizza, right? I know a lot of times school lunches are pizza, and I don't mind pizza, but that slice of pizza has very little protein on it, right? So making sure, even though you may be eating these meals, really make it a point to have a good portion of protein at your meal, okay? So let's say you're having pizza for a meal. Add a chicken breast, or add get something else you can add to it or have on the side so that you make sure you're getting enough. It is the macro that people are missing most of the time. And because of y'all being teen athletes, your protein target is much higher than your classmates who are not athletes. Even maybe your parents, your goal is going to be much higher than them. So you want to make sure you're not missing that mark. Protein shakes. I've given y'all a couple brands that I like. And when I say a shake, it doesn't mean making a smoothie at home with your powder and your milk and your banana and all that stuff. I'm talking about like pre-made shakes, like the Fairlife Core shakes, like the Iconic Shake, Premier Shakes. Those little, they're like little 8 to 11 ounce little things. Take with you to school. Downing one of those, you're going to get somewhere between 20 to 30 grams of protein in a real quick, easy way. Number 2, as swimmers, how many meals and water should we be eating and drinking a day? Meals, 3 big meals, your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. But then I would almost add in a 4th meal. One of your snacks should be pretty hefty, and that's the snack after school. So that snack before practice, because you've gone so many hours since lunch, that's all 100. So I'm going to tell y'all 3 to 4 meals a day. 3 to 4 meals a day, plus your 2 to 3 snacks. So it's a lot of food, but I know a lot of times a lot of food makes us feel really sleepy, but if you're filling it with the right things, you'll fight that fatigue and end up having more energy and be able to last longer through the day, last longer in practice. Water, I've told y'all, should be half to a whole ounce of your body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, it should be 50 ounces to 100 ounces a day. If you weigh 120, 60 to 120. Does that make sense as far as ounces go? You can find on Amazon, on the internet, really easy for real cheap, those bottles that have 100 ounces. And it also has the time marks of the day. So it says like at 7 a.m. you should be here. At 1 p.m. you should be here. So some of us aren't as great as others as getting your water intake in. Me, for example, I have to really remind myself to take my water in and keep a bottle with me during the day. I have one of those big jugs that has the water mark or has a timeline mark on it. That's really helpful. You guys want to be taking in about half to 1 ounce per body weight a day. Now that can be a combination of, we've talked about some sparkling water. You can add maybe some 0 sugar flavor packets in there. But the majority of your ounces should be coming from straight up water. Okay, does that help? Number 3, what should we be eating before practice and what should we be eating after practice? I feel like we've beaten this over the head, but we're gonna do it again. So before practice should be carbs and a healthy fat. Post practice should be protein. So examples of that: pre-workout, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a turkey sandwich, banana and peanut butter crackers, with those peanut butter sandwich crackers, leave of those. If you're home and you have time to whip something up, like a bowl of oatmeal, instant oatmeal, any of those healthy complex carbs, I gave y'all the recipe to those peanut butter oat balls. 2 of those would be perfect. After practice, I know some of y'all like to swing into the Smoothie King. Get your low sugar, high protein smoothie. Bring some of those Fairlife shakes. If you're going into dinner, make sure you're getting a nice big piece of lean protein. Questions with that? I feel like we've talked about this a lot, and then I still got this question. So please speak up right now if you have any questions. If any of the things I just listed you don't like. I know we have some picky eaters on here, which is going to bring me to question number 4. But anybody have questions about that pre-practice, pre-meet, post? Would blue Powerade be good for meets? Yes, totally. What I've told y'all before, and what I tell my other athletes that I train or that I coach, those Powerade drinks and Gatorades, for during practices, I don't mind the ones that are like total all sugar, all calories. Those are fine because the sugars are going to be fast acting and it's going to give you a little bit of energy when you are in practice. And it has all those added electrolytes, which is great for hydration. If you were drinking Gatorades, Powerades during the day, I'm going to suggest doing the 0, just so you're not taking in all those extra added sugar grams, all those added sugars. Those aren't great. The added sugars would be fine and are totally acceptable for during practice and during meets. Does that help, Lewis? Cool. All right. No other questions about pre and post workout, before and after practice, snacks, meals, things? Okay. 4, picky eaters. I was talking to Ross about this recently. Picky eaters at this point, guys, it can't be an excuse to just like decide you don't want to eat something. A chicken tender diet is no longer acceptable. Your age, at the elite level, at the amount of swimming, you're putting all this effort into competing and being these athletes, that a chicken tender diet is not, a pizza diet is not acceptable. It's just going to take maybe a little bit more effort on your part, maybe trying new things. And you may not be as picky as you think. You may just have some blinders on and assume that you don't like something. Food has come a long way, and there's going to be other options out there that are going to be healthier than your Cane's, or Chick-fil-A. And if Chick-fil-A is like your go-to, order it grilled. They have all these options. They have multi-grain buns now. They have fruit cups on the side. You don't need to get French fries. You don't need to get it fried. There's better options. There's no reason for y'all to be eating bunny bread or white breads. Like, they have great other complex, yummy options where it doesn't taste like cardboard. So foods for picky eaters, I think it just is going to be on you to mature the palate, and you may be surprised that you like more things than you think. Okay. Anybody have questions on that? Now, there's a difference between a picky eater and someone who is, you have a dietary restriction. Maybe you have a gluten intolerance, like a real gluten intolerance. Maybe you have a dairy intolerance, or you have an allergy. Those are totally different. You're not picky. You have actual restrictions in your diet that you can't have, that your body doesn't allow. And that's totally fine. And if there's something that you are allergic to, or you know your body doesn't respond to, then let's talk and we'll find you those alternatives. If it's just because you're like, I don't think I like it, we got to try a little harder. Find you some things that you do. Anybody want to chat about that? Okay. 5, how to drink enough water. You just got to do it. I don't have any tricks. I told you about the bottle with the lines. Set an alarm on your phone that maybe every couple of hours, you're just going to chug a bottle of water and force it down. That's something that I have to do. I have to really just suck it up and force myself to do it, because I will forget. I will get running and gunning in the morning, and before I know it, I'm like, I haven't had enough water. It's noon, and I have to force myself to sit down before I do anything else and getting this water down. So it's just now between the 4 and 5 on this slide, between picky eaters and how do I drink enough water. At some point, you guys just got to take responsibility and force it. We've given you the tools. We've given you the options. Here are some of the tips and tricks that I can give you, and hopefully you can adapt and take on. But those are, at some point, you got to force it. Maybe getting some of those Crystal Light or some of those flavor packets, the 0 added sugar packets, adding some lemon or some fruit to your water so it's flavored, because I know plain water can be boring. I feel you. So dress it up a little bit. Whatever you're going to do to mix it up and make sure you're getting it in. The last one, number 6, benefits of not eating fast food. I could go on and on. The benefits are insane. We don't need to be eating fast food. It is so bad for your development. It's bad for your growth. It is bad for your weight. It is, none of us at this point need to be worrying about our weight and counting calories. But if you eat fast food every day, eventually it will catch up to you. And that would be a conversation you probably would have to have. I don't need y'all to worry about your diet and restricting yourselves right now, but the fast food is going to catch up to you. And it's so terrible for what it's doing to your insides. Again, we talk about calorie to calorie and macro to macro, and I can go through the nutritional facts, the calories and the macros of a fried chicken sandwich compared to another meal, and the numbers may be the same, but what those two different things are doing inside of us is totally different. Those saturated and trans fats coming from the fried grease is going to cause heart issues. It's going to cause obesity. It's going to cause, it's terrible for your body. It's so bad. When there's most of these fast food restaurants, these drive-through, I say fast food, but these chains where you can drive through are all offering healthier items on their menu. So the excuse of, well, I'm short on time and we just had to drive through tonight. That's totally fine. Driving through the drive-through fast food restaurant is absolutely fine. When it's just road and it happens at dinner time, but ordering the chicken tenders and the French fries and the Diet Coke is no longer acceptable because they have all these other great options available to you now. You know what I mean? You're just going to feel heavy in your body. You're going to feel lethargic. You're not going to get great sleep. You're not going to perform well. It's going to also subliminally, it's going to cause you to make more unhealthy choices through your day. If you make a healthy choice, you are more likely to make those healthy choices and put your nutrition first throughout the rest of the day. So if you can just start making these small changes, making different small menu item changes, it's going to be exponential to your health. Questions? Anybody got anything you want to comment on 1 through 6? Do you have a question about something that I did not touch on? Did I miss something that you were hoping I was going to cover? Did one of these questions spark something that you've been meaning to ask and you forgot? Guys, anybody? Bueller? I feel like I was a little brutally honest with y'all tonight, but I feel like it was time to get a little real with some of these questions because we're getting the same questions a lot. And I want to make sure that I'm not missing the mark on giving all the information that's needed. We're doing this once a month. I'm giving y'all some tips throughout the week. So I just want to make sure that y'all get it. All right, Enzo, what is a good bulking meal after being sick? Bulking meal? What do you mean? Like muscularly? Like you want to bulk up and beef up? Are you trying to like make up calories because you missed a lot of calories and you maybe got sick, like lost? Okay, so let's talk about, let's say you guys got a stomach bug and you couldn't get anything down. You were on a liquid diet and you were throwing up. The best thing you can do is balance your meals. I never loved the idea of overeating, right? Because it stretches your stomach. If you overeat, it's gonna leave you feeling a little bit heavier, even if we are eating the good things. Overeating will leave us feeling a little fatigued, right? The best thing I can say is after being sick, hydrate, overhydrate. 2, get in your balanced meals. I know that you probably, if you were sick, you probably lost an appetite, so you're eating like the feel-good things. Make sure you're getting in your complex carbs, having a big baked sweet potato, having a big, like a bun, like a burger bun, making a big juicy sandwich, but with like lean meats, healthy protein sources, but you're still getting a big dose of a complex carb. So doing all the right things. Don't feel like you need to go order Domino's pizza and sit down and have the whole large supreme and you got to make it up because you lost all these calories. That's the worst thing you can do, is evenly distributing and getting all the good calories back in. At that point, when you're sick and you've lost all these nutrients, your body is craving the good stuff. So don't feel like you need to go order, the Domino's pizza because you got sick. That's the last thing your body wants and the last thing it needs. Even though for you, it may feel like the feel-good thing to do, it's not the right route. eliminating all those oily and greasy things and putting in good, whole, real foods into your body post being sick is going to be great, especially like a lot of fruit, berries, all those antioxidants is going to be really good. They're heavy in carbs. So that would be good. Smoothies, loading up. You can pack in so many good calories and nutrients in a smoothie, especially if you're coming off of being sick and you're still like a little wonky with your appetite. A big smoothie is going to be really great. You can pack in a big punch with a big smoothie. Isabella, are Celsius before practice bad? Yes, Isabella, that is caffeine. That is a energy drink. Cut it out. They're delicious. I know it. And they're sparkling and it tastes yummy and they're branded real healthy with all these BCAAs on it. And they're, you know, we're all a marketer's dream. Things are healthy. Okay, it's still an energy drink. Y'all don't need it. What else, guys? Anything else? This was good. Y'all did ask some good questions. I'm glad y'all were participating tonight. I appreciate y'all answering these questions and these questionnaires, surveys for us, because it is really helpful. Again, I just want to make sure I'm giving you the information that you need. Anyone else? All right, Coach Ross, you got anything for us? No?
No, I had one thing to add right before Enzo's question came up, but I don't remember what it was anymore. Oh, probably just me saying, yes, it's time. Yes, every now and then teenagers do need a kick in the butt. They should be used to that by now. So yeah, and you and I will plan out our June plan.
Perfect. Perfect. Would it be helpful for y'all? Because I know we did get this question a couple of times, this fast food question. How often, I mean, I don't know if you guys need to raise your hand or tell me this right now, but is driving through fast food a thing? Is that pretty common for you guys? Like at the end of the night after practice, is it just easier sometimes for you guys to drive through after school? If some of y'all are driving, like, are fast food stops really common for y'all? Because we can do a whole presentation. We can go through, I can pull up some menus and give y'all some other options. If that's like something that is normal and you just are at a loss, like, hey, what should I order from Chick-fil-A? What should I order from Taco Bell? Like, would that be helpful for y'all to go through something like that? Because it seems like it's a topic that's been coming up a lot. Allie said yes. Riley said yes. Okay. We'll talk about that. Subway before practice is common. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll do a slide on some drive-through options. I'm not gonna lie, look, I have a drive-through option right here in front of me for dinner tonight, but it's Greek food. I ordered a grilled chicken salad with some hummus. So there's options out there right now. It is 2022. Health is like on the forefront of everyone's mind and in society. So these drive-through restaurants are putting options out there for us. And I know that schedules get busy and some of y'all are driving. So if that is something that y'all do and it's unavoidable for y'all to drive through, let's get y'all some options and we'll talk them through. Good deal? All right. Well, thanks for joining, guys, tonight. I appreciate y'all speaking up and participating.
Caden came in late. Says thank you, Coach Nichole. Bye.
Who is that? Caden?
Caden. Yeah, you got here about 10 minutes ago.
Caden. We'll play yard games soon. Bye, guys.
Yep. Looks
All right,
like
I'm
we're
gonna jump
dropping.
off.
We're good.
All right.